Not going to talk about death, so I think you're going to have to take this one. And she was like, no problem. Well, it was later on in that day when we had this presentation in Morning Connection that we get to host together that I understood the importance of trust and will. And what's so lovely that we're talking about for the next hour is that we're offering a will-based estate plan for individuals or couples with a 2-year digital access plan here with this incredible offer with item E318994. This is how you leave your legacy. This is how you have that one last memory with your friends and family and loved ones where they say, of course they had everything figured out for us. Because if you don't, there's been way too many horror stories that we've heard about where families become broken and the fighting when they should be celebrating your life and all of those wonderful memories they had with you. You don't want to leave that legacy behind of things not being level set with everything. I mean, this is how you are going to nominate the power of attorney. You're going to specify those end of life wishes, and you can get very specific, decide how your assets are distributed, even appoint guardians for your kids or your pets. So the two different packages that we're offering here are individual packages for a sale price of $129.98 or 5 easy payments of $26. The couples package is $189.98 or 5 easy payments of $38. What you're looking at on the screen here is that broken down for you. You are saving $52 off of our original QVC price for that couples package with $189.98 for the two of you. If it's individual package, you're saving $39 off of that original QVC price that was $169 for this incredible value of less than $130. This is going to save you some epic lawyer fees because for the price to even walk into that office, you could be paying much more than you see on your screen right now before you can even start talking about your assets or this wonderful life of wealth and wonderful things that you have gained over your lifetime. If you don't have this in place, you know where everything goes? Usually to the state. And then somebody else has the power to determine where everything you've worked your entire life goes. This is the moment right here for you to say, you know what? I think I'm going to get this today because 67% of American adults do not have their will in place. That is an outrageous number. And who is this for? This is for every single person over the age of 18. We are going to have a wonderful conversation about the importance of this and why this might be that perfect opportunity for you to pick this up, whether it be for yourself or for you and your partner. We're going to welcome in Paige Volovich, who brings us some really incredible products like this one, who's going to tell us all about this. Hi, Paige. It's nice to see you this Saturday evening.
Hey, Steve, you know, this is my favorite hour of the week that I get to spend with you because to your point, at first glance, it seems like this daunting topic, but it's truly the most beautiful, important, meaningful gift you can give your family. Steve, it's really this roadmap for your next of kin. And I'll start off our hour with just saying that a will is the most overlooked aspect of our financial wellness. And so for those of you who are saying the first thing, like, I'm not a millionaire and I don't have a yacht and I don't have, these extra homes in my life, I'm here to tell you, Steve's here to tell you, if you're 18 years or older, here are all the reasons that you want to create a will. And we're going to really dive into it with our time together, but it's everything from, avoiding and preventing family conflict, ensuring that you have a guardian for your children and your pets. And guess what? A backup to the backup, which is brilliant. I never thought of that before. But maybe you want to make contributions in the form of a charitable gift. Maybe you have artwork. Maybe you just have, like my pop-up had a hat collection or a stamp collection or coin collection. But it's all about having everything clear communication. We're not going to speculate because the greatest gift that you can give your loved ones is a plan in place so that they don't have to try to guess what you would want. And it's going to create a lot of, I want to say, like, understanding, because if it lives in probate, gosh, the financial implications, the stress and the heartache is just heartbreaking. So we're here to take that all out in the best, easiest way possible.
Oh, it's so true. And it's so interesting that you brought up a coin collection because my grandmother left me her coin collection and I had no idea that she even had a coin collection. And I mean, of all of us grandsons that she had, she left it to me. And I was like, wow, that's fantastic. I didn't even know that existed. But like, that was like a little gift from her that I just, after her passing, I was like, well, that was very kind of her to leave that to me. And it was like this wonderful little like present after she had passed, and it just made it very, very special. And the wonderful thing that we're going to talk about throughout this hour is you can really get specific down into some really, really personal, wonderful moments here that you want certain members of your family or your friends to have. And this is just very important stuff that we're talking about here. But Paige, I'd love for you just to answer the question that I love to ask you: why do we need to put this in place right now?
Well, the most important thing is about having clear cut communication, because if you and I don't put that will together, if the unexpected would happen, what happens first and foremost, it lives in probate far longer than it needs to be. So I have dear friends that are telling me they lived in probate 2, 3 years. They were paying an extreme amount of money, the tears, the heartache, the stress, because when you did not decide how you wish your assets to be distributed, really the conflict and the heartache happens. So if you are 18 years or older and you're probably asking your question to yourself that I did for so many years, well, I don't have, a car and I don't have a home. But if you're 18 years older, you probably have a bank account. You may have online banking. You may have online photos. You may have had gifts through the family. So if you do not decide who the benefactor or who you're going to really give this to, it starts this very vicious cycle of uncertainty. And so there's a reason why only 34% of American adults have a will. Because, Steve, you said it best. I really want to hone in on that. When you said, Mary, I need you to handle that, because all of us do that, right? We get uncomfortable, we get nervous, and we feel like it should be this daunting conversation.
Right.
But what Trust and Will does so well is they've taken something complicated and maybe what feels to be heartbreaking, they've simplified it. So they created this really brilliant self-serve online platform. So you go online and within 20 short minutes, you're going to create and customize your own personal will. And a will really is just deciding how you wish your assets to be distributed and how we're going on. You're going to receive this voucher. You're going to specify that you want a will, click, and then you're just going to start with very simple answers to questions: your name, your date of birth, and your address. Your address is a key component of this equation, because once you do put in your address, it starts to create a state specific will. And the reason I point that out, Steve, is for those of you who said, oh, how could this be a legit will? It is. Attorneys have created and curated this, but it's our answers that customize your will to you. Simple questions. What type of assets would you like to record? Is it real estate? Is it insurance policies? How about gifts? How about your final wishes? One of my favorite features of this online platform, Steve, is an aspect I never thought about, is do you have children? Yes. All right. Who would you like to take care of your children? But then who would you like to take care of your pet? Then they go, who would you like as a backup? How about a backup to the backup? I never thought of these things. So it's taking that traditional will, modernizing it, upgrading it. But what they've done for years, they have always said that wills back in the day were inaccessible, not affordable, and maybe not something that I would feel comfortable doing at home. So now they've given us the tools as you're going through online, Steve. You can do it in 20 minutes. I think I've shared with you before, I'm someone who's a little more reflective. So I break things up in chunks. I've always done that. So I'll maybe work on it for 5 minutes a day. I talk to my husband. I always talk to my dad. And we kind of navigate this together. So it's a step-by-step process, however you wish to do it. If you're like me, you do it in 5-minute chunks. But Steve, if you say, I'm going to come back tomorrow, it jumps right into where you left off. So this is a easy simple, affordable system, and the time is now.
Definitely. Absolutely. I mean, you said it. It's so simple. Literally 20 plus minutes. If you want to sort of blast through it, that's completely up to you. If you want to pause and take a break and think about, some of the answers that you're answering here, you can absolutely do that too. Talk to your friends and family, talk to your partner, talk to your kids, you name it. But it's all done for you. Pat James Dementry did this. She took her daughter to the doctor. She sat in the parking lot while she was in the doctor's office and completed this in the car. I mean, it was that simple for her. It's
On her
so
phone.
easy on her phone, literally on her phone, and that's just it. That's what it's all about here. I mean, you could really, of course, take your time with it here, or I mean, it's user friendly, and I think that's the most important thing that we need to sort of relay to you. It's a nice, easy format for you to go ahead and take care of everything that you need to, whether you want the individual plan or you'd like the couples plan. The individual plan is $129.98 or 5 easy payments of $26. The couples plan is $189.98 or 5 easy payments of $38. You're saving up to $52 off of our original QVC price that was $242 for that couples plan that you're seeing here on the screen. Free shipping and handling, because really you're sort of getting, what exactly are we getting in the mail here, Paige?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Steve, because first and foremost today, once you decide if you want an individual or a couple, first and foremost, you're going to receive this voucher. And this is actually going to walk you through the system. But on the back, as you go onto the website that we have noted here, it's going to give you a code. You're going to put in this code, and then it's going to start you immediately with the prompts with your name, your date of birth, your address. And then it starts a system of questions. They ask the questions, they give you multiple choice, and then you start to answer. So maybe it's something as simple as, where do you live? Do you have children? Do you have pets? What type of assets do you wish to be distributed? But at the end of those 20 minutes, so this is what you're going to get first and foremost. But in 20 minutes or whenever you finish your will, what we're going to do is two things. First and foremost, you can print your will instantaneously. And the reason I point that out is twofold. First, if maybe you're going on a vacation tomorrow, which is typically a motivating factor, right? So parents like me, you have kids, you never had a will in place, you want it instantly, we can give you that. However, if in, 10 days, when you're finished this, you're going to receive two pieces of the puzzle. The first and foremost is your will. So this is the will broken out. This is customized for you. It has your name. It has all the specifics that you filled out online. But then you're going to also get this healthcare piece. So this is also going to include your power of attorney, your living will, your HIPAA rights. HIPAA rights are so important because for me, I want my children to receive all my health records because that's part of their health history. We're also going to include any type of final wishes. Everything is broken out in here. When you get these two folders home between 7 and 10 days, all you need to do are two things. First, you're going to sign these documents, Steve, and then you're going to take these somewhere to get notarized. That could be something as simple like my bank gives me free notary services, so I get that notarized, and then you have a legally binding will, and that's it. But one key component that I want to point out, which I think is the greatest gift, I'll let you know. So 15 years ago, I was going on my very first trip without my children and with my husband. So we were so nervous. And the best thing was it inspired me to get that will in place. I said, that's when I started to be an adult. I got my will. But first of all, I spent $1,500. Then I took this will and just, my ignorance, I put it in a safety deposit box.
Oh my gosh.
I locked it up. I brought the key home. But Steve, I never told anyone I had a will, where it was, any of the particulars. So part of this package, because it is a comprehensive package, is you're also going to get the ability to share this will with others, whether you want a hard copy or online. But that matters because, I was with my dad earlier today, and every time he went on vacation, Steve, my dad will pull out the filing cabinet and say, Paige, here's our will, here's the information, here's all the files you would need so that you don't have to track down, the breadcrumbs.
Of course.
Right. So all that information, your family does need to know this. And while it feels like a heavy conversation, and this is something I'm so passionate about, as heavy as it is for you and me, Steve, Can you imagine how heavy it would be and heartbreaking and taxing